In this video, we're going to be following the journey of a DIYer, Chris, who took on this mammoth backyard renovation, turning his yard from this to this. He and his wife affectionately call it Coral Sands Resort, built to replicate their favourite holiday destination. And it includes a swimming pool, spa, shower, outdoor kitchen, outdoor dining area, a pizza oven, and of course, the part we're focusing on, a massive deck to tie everything in. We're going to be following the journey and showing you why he chose to use tuffblock deck blocks to build this entire deck. Stay tuned.
What you can see over here is the height that we're working to, which is a slab height for the concrete for the existing house. And then we've got a height here of the bond beam, and then through to what we think will be the coping tile height. Over on the shallower side, we have got extremely low ground clearances to deal with. And then over on the far side of the pool, we've got more fall to deal with. So this is just the mock-up that I did a little while ago. And we basically just, I guess, mocked up a spacing of where the glue for the coping tile on top of the bond beam would finish. And then this is a piece of composite decking. We're not obviously millimeter perfect yet, but that would give you an idea as to the look that we're sort of going to be achieving. Because we're doing the whole thing ourselves, we're trying to minimize the amount of labor. You know, we've got sewerage that runs down the full length of our block. We've also got sewerage that ties in from our home to the inspection opening and the main point. We've also got a drain line, so I didn't want to have to run the risk of coming across any of those particular issues. And the fact that we've got a low height to work with. They're the main motivating factors. There's about 450 meters of fall from the concrete at our home to here, which is substantial. So again, because we have the mainline sewage line running through here, and there are exclusion zones with where you can work with obviously council requirements, we didn't want to get stuck with any of that. So we just decided that, again, this is another reason why this particular product would work well. But as you come out of the pool, from there you'll see these concrete Besser blocks. They make up the four corners of what will be our skillion roof gazebo, which I'll build. It's approximately 28 square meters under roof. And we'll have full outdoor dining and, you know, al fresco cooking and all that kind of thing, TV and whatnot for rugby nights with the lads and things like that. Over in the corner over here, you'll see up against the fence, just to the right of the Besser block, you'll see a section there of trenching and whatnot. We're actually going to have a breeze block feature wall, which will have an outdoor shower and a little bit of grass and things like that. We'll have a fire bit to the right. But yeah, that's pretty well how the project is going to look. So stay tuned and we'll hopefully deliver.
The process for building straight into the joist slots is fairly simple. Measure a row at 450mm centres and then cut the joist to length.
That's pretty well the height I'm looking for.
In this case, he's adjusting the height by slightly adding or removing aggregate. The bridging between joists adds additional strength and stops the joists from bowing.
So you can see what I've done here. I've actually, set this whole section out here, and I've actually set it up on noggins, and it needs a little bit more tweaking. I'm not quite finished yet, but it's pretty good. There's a lot of crusher dust through here, sitting up and mixed through the natural red soil, but we're really, really excited to be probably putting down some boards in the next week or so. So, I'm 90 odd kilos, so it's holding my weight, no problems at all. It's not moving underfoot. And our tough block system will actually run all the way through. It'll actually, I don't know if you can see it from there, but it'll actually just come around the corner a little bit, and it'll actually continue on throughout the whole of the underside of the gazebo through here. So all of our seats, our kitchen, our dining area, it'll all be sitting up on tough block on top of our decking system.
We always recommend using joist tape to extend the life of your deck, especially in close proximity to water. Here, Chris is laying the first board to match the pool coping. He's using a hidden fastener clip that slots into the composite deck board for a seamless finish.
All right, guys. Well, yeah, just worked on this weekend, this past weekend with my son-in-law, and we built this raised section. It's completely different to the other side that we did in that we've got no ground clearance to work with over there, and we've gone for obviously a low profile system. Over here, you can actually see where we've actually make up little intermediary posts, and we've got them all the way through the whole structure. So this gets us up to which will be the fixed height or the coping tile height. So we've completed this particular section just now, and we're basically starting our run down the side of the pool down here. So I was just gonna get ready to clamp off. So the reason why we've had to get the laser level out is that we've got two conflicting level points because of the piece of wood that I've used is obviously crown up or crown down across that 5.4 meter length. It's just given me too much variation. So the other way that you could simply do it is just to run my large level straight across, but it's only 2.4 and this is over 3.5 meters. So rather than sit the level on another piece of wood and have another potential for error, just go get the laser level out. So what we'll do is we'll actually take a baseline reading first, which is the height of the coping tile. And then from there, we're going to transfer that mark over to the boundary. But that height still won't be correct. We'll have to minus out the thickness of the decking boards. So we'll just set this level up first and get the height right. All right, solid beat tells me that's the mark of the coping tile. From there, we just bring it down here. And as you can see, it would have been a mile out. There's the two measurements we started with using a bent piece of long wood. And then this is the actual laser mark. We're trying to take the measurement off the top of the tuff block to the laser leveled measurement. Literally can just hold it and then scribe a new mark. From there, we're then using my test piece, which is obviously simulates the joist going across. So that's the height that I require to underside of joist. This is the joist that's coming across. So you just add that on after flushing the bottom. And that's my second cut. So from there, we've got a 90mm post, and that'll be the checked out part that the joist sits on, hopefully at the correct height first time. You can use a 90mm post. I chose to use this particular method after seeing another YouTube clip, and for me it just came down to keeping one size material on site. If you were having to check this out of a 90mm post, you would most likely be using hardwood to start with, so that's then going to have an issue with your blade over time. I'm also wanting to keep my blade in good condition so I can cut decking board with it, and you'd have to do multiple cuts through here to then have to chisel out or plane or sand or whatever it is. So for me, this is just easier.
When building on a slope, make sure to level the ground under each block by creating terraces. Once you level your outer joist, it's a case of measuring the height from the base of the tuff block to the base of the joist, and then cutting a checked-in post to that height. For an in-depth tutorial on this, click the video above or in the description.
We've progressed from this side over here with boards down to what you probably would have seen on the last episode was all framing, joists, noggins, and the tuff blocks. And we've now got decking down finally, which is nice. That's what you can pretty well see all the way through here. This particular side was much easier to deal with than the other side. And There's only one difference between the other side. This had no clearance to work with, so you're working off the ground. This side here, we were completely working off of an area that had lots and lots of space to work with. If I have one friend that says, look, I've got a deck that needs to be built on ground, or I've got another mate that wants to build it up, I'd probably choose the mate that wants to build it up, because that's what this side is, and it was really, really easy to do. So here you'll see the very end of this long run, and if you have a look down here in the corner here, these are just a couple of legs that I put in late yesterday afternoon. So these aren't positionally correct, they're not screwed in. Some of them are not quite level or exactly vertical, so pay no mind to that. But that will give you an idea on what I was talking about, where you basically just got your 90/45, your checked in section, prop it underneath the frame, and you can then set your levels up from there. So that gives you a bit of an idea on what is actually underneath this whole section, minus the fact that we've got to fit more tough blocks through the middle. And then we've also got to go and noggin that whole thing out as well too, joist tape it, and then continue our decking across the top. Underfoot, there's just no movement. They're super, super solid. There's just nothing, no give anywhere. It just feels really, really nice. So we're standing, 400 plus millimeters above terra firma, on top of a frame, on top of a board, and then we're going to have 4 large pots here and an even bigger one in the corner. So yeah, we love it. It feels really nice.
We caught back up with Chris a few weeks later once he'd completed the gazebo, and we were honestly blown away by what he'd achieved.
We're stoked. The resort's just turned out absolutely fantastic, and it's been a long process, but as you can see, it's all come together really, really well, and the wife's vision is fulfilled and my life is happy. Our backyard essentially was just all grass with a small garden. This is exactly how we saw it going. Probably the spa is in a slightly different position to how we would have envisioned it, but that's a piping, plumbing, sewage issue. But everything else is exactly how we dreamt it and drew it. The gazebo itself is, it's a little bit lavish, but we wanted somewhere that you could be out of the shade. We want to be able to cook and entertain down here, whether it be breakfast, lunch, dinner, or all of the above. We've got the pizza oven over here next to it, and built a bar area. This has got barbecues and fridges and stainless cupboards and sinks and things like that. There's a shower over there as well. So we've just tried to make it somewhere where you don't really need to go anywhere else to do anything else. Yeah, we live here in the Redlands anyway, so yeah, we enjoy the bay breeze and the water views, and to have this to come home to wake up to, we get to listen to the water. My wife and I are both islanders, so for us, this is our dream. Might not be your dream, but maybe it is now after you've seen it.